Good morning, wrestling fans, and welcome to PWR Today for Tuesday morning, June 21st, the official beginning of summer. The man they call Meathead, the lovely Linda Kay. Linda, now that we are really in summer, we're inside of summer. Summer, we're now inside of you. How you feeling?
Feeling happy. I love summer. I love the warmth. I love the sunshine. You know, us living in Wisconsin, we only have that limited amount of time where we get
Right,
to
summer's
enjoy
over next week, isn't it?
Pretty much. So I'm very happy that it is now officially summer.
That's right. No, we're not inside Summer Rae. We're inside the season of summer. And no way to better show off what you got going on with the latest and greatest from Collar and Elbow. Linda, I thought I saw a new shirt out there at Collar and Elbow.
Yes, if you subscribe to the emails, you get to get a sneak peek, if you will, of some of the new fashions, some of the newest t-shirts in the line at the tremendous Collar and Elbow brand.com. As you mentioned, the latest and greatest in wrestling street fashions. It is summertime. Refresh your wardrobe, if you will, sporting your Collar and Elbow t-shirts, tank tops, shorts, hoodies, pants, lots of different things, caps. And if you want to save a little extra money, save 10% off your order anytime using promo code Linda K. That's LINDAKAY.
Loser Leaves Town. That one looks actually pretty slick. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but there's like some huge snake or something, and it says Collar and Elbow down on the bottom, Loser Leaves Town, Collar and Elbow across the top, the little CXE on the sleeve. Yeah, I love that one. That one looks good.
There's a new Good Brothers shirt that just launched this
week. That
Good
Brothers shirt looks amazing. I almost hit the buy button the second I saw it. Just, yep. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me review. How much is shipping? All right. So we'll have to use my promo code of Linda K to get a discount on that one.
Why, thank you.
All right. So let's talk about a little bit of news here before we get into Raw from last night. Linda K, you and Matthew brought this up. I think it was last week. What are the first three letters of my Twitter handle?
WCW.
Okay. The last time WCW and any wrestling was in the Mall of America was 1995 for Labor Day. Ooh. And it was the debut of Nitro. Linda K, wrestling is returning to the Mall of America. First event since 1995. They're going to have it on Saturday, September 10th. It's called Saturday Night Nitro from First Wrestling, one of Minnesota's independent wrestling companies out there. Now, the first thing I thought to myself, and I said this to you off air, was when does the cease and desist come for using the term Nitro?
If the logo is presented differently, do they have a case in that matter to still use it?
They own the name Nitro. Nitro is, they own it. So.
There was one of my favorite American Gladiators of all time was Nitro.
Yeah. Remember that line in, what was it, Dodgeball? They got guys on a team like Blaze and Glaze and Taze. That's everything. Mm-hmm. Every time I hear that, that's what I think of. But wrestling at the Mall of America, can you believe that?
Yeah, I can totally picture that. I mean, obviously, the size of that structure can hold huge events. The fact that wrestling will be there, pretty awesome. Will it still be called Saturday Night Nitro come September 10th? I don't know.
I don't know about that.
That's still pretty cool. Obviously, Minneapolis being a huge wrestling town, just another venue, more light, more shine on the local wrestling scene there. So awesome in itself. If they have to change their name, then so be it. I think they can go along with the Mall of America theme. I mean, I could totally do something with that.
There's something there. You know what I did see, though? The picture that came along with my news story, one of the other big sponsors they had, and Linda, this is near and dear to our hearts, the beer sponsor was, what do you have? Down home flavor, Pabst Blue Ribbon beer. I love me a little PBR me ASAP.
Wow.
Do you remember those commercials?
Not so much those older PBR commercials, but I was going to say that I'm a little surprised to hear that just because I know that PBR is very prevalent here in the Milwaukee area and some of our local music concert event venues. So hearing that they're a sponsor out at a show in Minneapolis, it's pretty darn cool.
Hey, PBR had disappeared from the Milwaukee area for a while. Milwaukee, obviously the Brew City. PBR had disappeared from Milwaukee Mall and is back actually being made down around the Deer District. I forget exactly what the address is, but Pabst Blue Ribbon beer back being made in Milwaukee again. So good news on the beer front, good news on the wrestling front if you're in Minneapolis. And then here's more good news for Ric Flairs front and his back. When he's in his last match, his tickets for his last match blew up, gone, 24 hours. So what they did was they had to go from the fairgrounds. They moved it up to the Nashville Municipal Auditorium. Ric Flair's last match in Nashville has now been located to a bigger venue.
That's also tremendous. I mean, you're going to have fans, international fans, I would assume as well, already in town for SummerSlam, and just tons of national fans. In fact, a little birdie told me that Linda Kay shall be in the Nashville area that weekend as well. So I already was aware of Ric Flair's match. I think there's also the roast going on. I'm not sure which days or what. I do believe that final match is taking place that Sunday of that weekend, but that's great to hear.
31st,
that it's now bumped up to a huger venue, which it's Ric Flair. You gotta believe the demand, the request to see him in this last match is going to be high. So great to hear. Woo!
All right, the Nature Boy.
Like I said, I don't know.
Hey, they opened up Raw last night with a tribute to referee Tim White. You know how we talked yesterday morning that there was 2 referees that passed? I was a little sad, but I understand. They only showed Tim White, not Dave Hebner.
Yeah.
Dave Hebner, unfortunately, left on not so good terms with the company. There was the allegations of the merchandise and all that other stuff that had happened. That's how the Hebners had left the building. But, they spent a ton of time with the company, right? So we could have done something. But anyways, a RIP for Tim White at the beginning of the program.
Yeah. Yeah. I believe I saw some tributes on social media as well. I can't recall if they were officially put on by WWE, but considering that they put that tribute at the beginning of Raw last night, that was probably what I saw. I know that some of the talents have put out their personal tributes at least. So
yeah.
So
it's kind of ironic too. WWE has a way about things. So I told you I'm playing the new WWE 2K22 game this year. My first wrestling game in probably 5-10 years. I can't remember the last one I had, but there's a section at the beginning called like Ray's Tribute. Remember I told you would play the game and then all of a sudden it would cut into video. 30 plus years in the business for Mike Chioda and WWE. They blur his face out there just because they don't want to pay him.
I got to see how this looks.
Well, it's literally there. It's live video with his face blurred out.
All right.
They blur out a face, don't have to pay you. So WWE has a way of things, just like we're going to get to in, I believe it was segment 2 tonight. But also, first off, starting off with Bianca Belair coming out. And, I had missed it initially, and then I wondered why there was the match. Our girl, Rhea Ripley, part of the Judgment Day, unable to make it to Money in the Bank for the women's title match against Bianca Belair. So a 5-woman match, a fatal 5-way, was going to determine the challenger for Bianca Belair at Money in the Bank. Linda, your thoughts on Rhea going down and having half of the people in the ladder match for the Money in the Bank also competing for a chance to go at the title shot?
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I had no idea that Rhea Ripley was injured, not medically cleared. Bianca Belair came out and even said, I didn't want to have to be the one to tell you this, but then she went on to say there will be their time again when they will meet. So that's good to know that, we really don't know the extent of how long Rhea will be out, but at least
and we're not even sure that it's an actual injury. She's just not medically cleared. That could be something else. That could be that thing that nobody talks about anymore from 2 years ago. She could have that.
Maybe. But to answer your question on half of the contenders at Fatal 5-Way, I know you had mentioned it off air as well, that the rosters that they predominantly show on Raw, like you said, they're just getting thin there. That a lot of them already qualified, but at least there is that stipulation. Okay, so I'll give up my spot so I get to go for the title. Okay, at least that's a little something there. And I don't know how soon they had to put this match together, but I mean, a lot of action to open up Raw. I will say though, seeing Carmelo in, I wasn't expecting that, which is good. You want some
I like that.
surprises, yeah.
Absolutely, I like that.
And you've got
Uh,
some of the other women that were, that part of that Fatal Five Way where you can get great matches out of in their own pairing. But yeah, cool to see that Carmella getting that. We know she's won it twice, technically. So I
oh
mean,
yeah, that's in the record, but she won it twice. She
yeah,
won it. They didn't like the way she won it, so they made her do it again, and she
yeah.
won it again,
But
regardless of
this,
James Ellsworth.
yes, but this time she gets to go for the women's championship. So little something different for Money in the Bank. But surprises are good.
All right, Fatal Five Way for the number one contenders match. Asuka, Becky Lynch, Carmella, Alexa Bliss, Liv Morgan. You know what? A lot of great spots in this match. I love the little side story that we got in there with Becky Lynch and Asuka. Specifically, Becky Lynch is on a horrible losing streak right now. The winner and the new number one contender, to the not chagrin, but to the joy of Corey Graves, Carmella.
Yeah, yeah. A different matchup here. I don't think we've ever, at least anytime recently on Raw or SmackDown for that matter, has seen Bianca and Carmella have a one-on-one match. So this is good.
I'm okay with it. You know what? I'd like to see Carmella work. I always thought that she could wrestle. I mean, she's not some mat technician, but I think that she does a great job in the ring. So I have no problem with her getting a match. Becky Lynch quickly rushing backstage to Adam Pearce and is just in his face right after the match. They go to commercial break. She's still yelling at him. And Adam Pearce, our buddy Scrap Daddy, says, you know what? You want a chance to qualify for Money in the Bank? How about a one-on-one with Asuka tonight? What? I just had the match. Well, so did Asuka, but you don't hear her complaining about it. All right. After we get all of the shenanigans from the Money in the Bank and the Liv and the Asuka stuff, there's no chance in hell. It's Vince McMahon again. What in a wide, wide world of sports is going on here? I want to know, has Vince McMahon said anything in his promo from Friday and his promo from last night? Has he said anything of any relevance?
Well, technically, yes, in that he did reiterate that John Cena will be making his return.
I'm going to pick one out. I'm going to pick one word out of what you just said. Reiterate.
Yes.
Not iterate. He reiterated.
Yeah. Hey, that was again a theme of the day. Surprises. So, I was not expecting that. As a matter of fact, I was in my kitchen making some sloppy joes.
Sloppy Joe, sloppy Joe.
I heard the beginning of No Chance in Hell, and literally, what?
Yeah, you stopped with the sloppy, right?
Yeah. So, hey, I considering the promo speech, if you will, from Friday night, I was expecting something kind of brief as well last night. We got that, but hey, just a little something to let everybody know. Hey, I'm here. I will stand up against any adversary. Is that the right word?
Adversary. Wait, Linda, for those that didn't hear yesterday's program, can you do that sound effect again from Max Caster coming out? Yo, listen.
There we go.
I'd rather have the other one, the one that you did at the beginning. So yeah, John Cena this coming Monday. 30 years it's been on the air, Raw has, and for almost 20 of those, it's been dominated by in Vince McMahon's words, the greatest WWE superstar of all time, who will return next week. Here's what I think is coming out of this, and I just came up with this about 5 seconds ago. Who else wears red and white and blue, and who is the current United States champion?
Oh, totally. I was thinking of him as well, because theory, I mean, what already triggered it for me was, I don't know if you saw on WWE.com this past week, I think it came up on my Twitter, there were tribute pictures to former, I don't know if it was United States Oh no, it was just all tributes to John Cena. That's what it was, and it had current stars doing a photo shoot wearing Cena's
John Cena gear.
Yeah, but the ones with Theory were ones where he was posing in famous photographs that John Cena had taken. So that already triggered that in my mind. And then while Theory was talking about being the best United States champion ever, that made me think about Cena as well. However, I still want that payoff between Theory and Bobby Lashley. So
which is coming.
Yes, but with Cena coming out, I don't know if it's going to be necessarily a match right away for the U.S. title that we would get potentially at SummerSlam. But sorry, I just figured it out.
Okay, go ahead.
Theory, yes, Theory and Lashley at Money in the Bank, Theory and Cena at SummerSlam.
There you go. See, you figured it out. Booking 101, my friends. Booking 101.
I just forget because I forget that Money in the Bank is already next Saturday because I'm already thinking SummerSlam because I'm thinking being in Nashville. I'm thinking
and you're thinking Brock and Roman.
Yeah.
So and that's kind of some of the problems that you have when you're booking these two pay-per-views in a row. You're booking this match and that match, which match is on which pay-per-view, and it's confusing. So, but Vince comes out, basically hypes up John Cena, and Austin Theory is Vince's guy. So we can see that probably going on. By the way, Vince did drop a little nugget. It's not that it was a big nugget. Remember, I was kind of hounding you about the reiterated, but Vince said he was on episode 1517 of Raw.
Insane.
Insane indeed. All right, let's go back and we get Riddle coming out. Riddle, obviously misses Randy. He promised Randy he'd get vengeance. Riddle says he came so close to being an undisputed WWE Universal Champion. End of the day, Roman is Roman. He's a tribal chief, and he beat Riddle with a spear that almost broke him in half. Now, MVP and Omos come down because it's a Money in the Bank qualifying match, Omos and Riddle. And in a bit of surprise to me, Omos is the winner.
That did surprise me as well, but kind of where I was going with that women's fatal 5-way match that opened up for a spot. Well, it was to face Bianca, but still something to do with something at Money in the Bank. This opened up something for Riddle against someone else, and he basically called out Seth Rollins. Like,
yeah. Yep, and Seth Rollins answered the call out. Seth Rollins put a beat down on Riddle.
Yeah, I gave him a really good curb stomp.
With his fancy shoes on.
Yeah, that too. But
that was a Gucci curb stomp. All right, well, again, Lashley and Theory had their little oil up last week. Linda, we didn't get to hear your thoughts on Bobby and Austin Theory oiling each other up last week, or oiling themselves up in front of each other. What were your thoughts last night with Theory oiling himself up again in the ring?
Hey, I was having some technical difficulties last week due to a power outage from the storm that went through in my residency. So I finally got to see one live, pose down and some oils and some muscularities. That's not a word. So it was cool. It was different. I was happy to see it with my own eyes live. We got
shiny Austin Theory.
Yeah, but we also got a little retribution, if you will, where Bobby Lashley got to squirt Austin Theory with some oils.
That's right. These boys are just trading fluids back and forth. It is just absolutely disgusting. All right. But he got it right in his eye, too. I mean, that's a crazy weekend here and in the wrestling world. So
I was just going to say, I do love the whole selfie reveal where he then realized.
Yeah, he took a selfie and he looked at his selfie and Bobby was in the background of the selfie. Yeah, that was actually, I think Theory's wearing braces, if I'm looking close enough. Does it look like he's wearing those Invisaligns? I think he's wearing braces right now, which is fine. I mean, I hope he's not wearing them while he's, bumping, but I think he's wearing braces. So
I'm not sure. I was distracted by the oils.
I'm trying not to focus on the oils is what I'm trying to do. Undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions Jey Uso took on Angelo Dawkins. Boy, I love me some Street Profits. They are looking uber strong. Will they take the belts off the Usos? Most likely not. But the team looks really good.
when the belts do change hands, Street Profits, I would love to see it on them. Well-deserved former tag team champions as well.
That helped me win the draft a couple of years ago with them having the belts that long.
Yeah, they're just doing a great job week after week, no matter who they're facing, and just their promos themselves, the crowd reaction, putting them against the Usos, and they had their little promo, against one another at the beginning of the match. That looked intense.
Yeah. Hey, the moment I had been waiting for all week. Backstage, we see him warming up on the guitar. It was almost perfect for me. I would do things a little different. I would have rather had the reveal of both of them in the ring, but I understand why they did it, and I don't hate it. I still liked it, but to have this sit down between Ezekiel and Elias on the couch, did you see the fist bump at the end? How they bump fist, and if you look real close, they never touch fists. It was tremendous. It was tremendous.
Yeah. Each week when we hear how Elias and Ezekiel, or just, Elias being back, you always
Zeke and his freaks.
Yes. You always got to wonder how they're going to present this, how they're going to do it, how KO is going to be involved. Well,
they took it up a notch last night. And we knew they would, right? They took it up a notch. I don't care. This is entertaining to me. As much as we might bag, or me specifically might bag on how many people are left, how I'm seeing the same stuff, this I actually want to watch every week. I'm absolutely entertained by it. So, and of course, Elias / Ezekiel can wrestle. We know that. But did you know that after the segment with Kevin Owens just getting upset at the concert, did you know that Elias and Ezekiel have a third brother? Or there's a third?
That was news to me as well.
So I believe I'm calling my shot here Tuesday morning, June 21st, at whatever time you're listening to. I'm calling my shot. It's Elrod the Bod. Instead of Zeke and his freaks, Elias and his people, Elrod the Bod. That's his nickname.
You're saying that they will reveal this third brother.
I think so. It'll be Elrod the Bod.
That might be tricky to do. And we already got this one night of Elias, so I guess we can have one night of Elroy.
Elrod.
Elrod.
R-O-D. Yeah, Elrod the Bod.
My bad.
Okay, well, backstage, we see that Theory has basically gone to Scrap Daddy's office, Adam Pearce, and said that if Lashley's to get a match, he's got to run through a gauntlet. So we find out that the gauntlet is going to be Chad Gable, then Otis, then Theory. I thought this was very predictable, but it didn't make it terrible TV. I actually knew what we were going to get. I knew he was going to get through number one. And then when you saw that it was Alpha Academy, I'm like, okay, second's got to be Otis. And they're going to beat on him. And they're going to soften him up. And look at that. Here comes Theory. Okay. I have to ask you, though, wrestling logic. And again, maybe this is where I get a little too analytical. If Lashley is able to make it through a gauntlet of a tag team, former tag team champions, Chad Gable and Otis, and beat Theory, why should I believe if Theory can beat him at the pay-per-view? Because he already beat Theory after running through two others.
Yeah. I was kind of surprised. I know that Theory wanted to get a beat down on Bobby, but that brings up a great point. We just need another pose down, I guess.
How about this? How about Lashley wins the belt with a returning John Cena, or Lashley wins it and Theory wins it back due to some sort of shenanigans or schmaz?
Due to Cena?
Due to something.
Yeah.
Who's to say?
Yeah.
So I just don't believe Lashley should lose if he can beat Theory already in a one-on-one match after beating a tag team.
There's got to be some shenanigans then, and the timing with Cena, I figure there could be something there where I don't think Cena would necessarily purposely interfere, but he would definitely be a distraction.
So I was distracted myself, and this is my fault, Linda. I don't know what you were doing when AJ was on Miz TV. I was staring at AJ's forehead the whole time, trying to zoom in and look for the stitches.
I wasn't looking very hard. Are they gone?
He was wearing makeup. There's a lump on his forehead, and you can see where they would have been, but he was wearing makeup on his forehead. So,
okay. Hey,
And it is okay. It's not a big deal. So,
I was just gonna say there were a lot of mentions of Mrs. Balls again.
you know, the two things here. One, Vince is coming out, and Vince was supposed to have the biggest grapefruits in WWE, right? Not popcorn balls, Miz. And two, has anybody ever heard of elephantitis? If your balls are big, that's a bad thing.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, this isn't South Park. We're not doing medicinal chicken here, okay? You don't want big balls.
great song by AC/DC.
That's right. I've got big balls. We've got big balls, but she's got the biggest
balls of them all.
That's right. Her balls are always bouncing. So at the end, when AJ attacks Miz, here comes Tommaso Ciampa. Here's the benefit. Tommaso's on TV every week now. Here's the detriment. Tommaso's not winning anything. Mm-hmm. Is Tommaso going to be the muscle for Miz, or is Tommaso just trying to prove himself?
I feel that they're going to put Miz and Ciampa together just for a little bit, but I would like to see Ciampa getting some wins during this time on Raw. He's, on the main roster right now. I know that I think he had preferred to be in NXT for a while, but still, right. I want to see him put on this other pedestal. We know such a huge
and there's no room for him on NXT 2.0 anymore.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like saying that you're 45 years old, but you go to spring break every year. It's just not right.
What's wrong? Never mind. I'm
kidding. I was joking.
I know, but I will say, because I don't know if it's because Rhea Ripley is out right now, there was no Judgment Day live at Raw. We saw a recap of what happened. We don't know how long Rhea will be out, but we got to keep something going strong here with Damian Priest, with Finn Balor. I know there were rumors of Ciampa potentially joining. I think that he would be great if they do want to add a fourth person, although it was great with the trios. But again, we don't know how long Rhea will be out. And just thinking of something that could fit great, I think, in the eyes of most for Ciampa, unless he is doing something, paired off with Miz for the time being.
Yeah. Again, I'm hoping to see a lot of big things out of Ciampa. I'm mentally prepared for them to do nothing. So, but I'm hoping. I want to see a lot of good stuff out of him. The Veer Mahan interview was weird. So he looked more intimidating, but I only understood the first half of what he was saying. And then he kind of kept transitioning, and he spoke too elegantly for me to believe that he's a monster. I think they don't know what to do with this guy right now.
I did notice he did speak eloquently. That's a word that I think I agreed with too. Just noticing it was a little less intense in a way at first, maybe, but just trying to think of who on Raw right now who would work well. I mean, work well with if he's getting this push. I would like for him to get a match at Money in the Bank or even SummerSlam. If
I'd love to see him get some.
Was a face, that would be a great.
That would be the guy, because that's physical and physical. But Veer Mahan needs to wrestle smaller people. Like if Theory was a face, Veer Mahan should go through Theory.
Yeah, can John Cena be paired up with Veer?
Well, I mean, he could. That would escalate him right away. But what happens after John Cena? Mm-hmm. That's the problem they've had. John Cena can bring people up with him, but the company does nothing with him after that. So, I don't know. All right, main event time. Money in the Bank for the women's side. It's a match qualifier. Becky Lynch and Asuka. These two women do not disappoint when it comes to wrestling. I love watching them both. I felt bad for the little girl that was about to shake Asuka's hand when Becky just attacked her. I hope after the cameras went off, Asuka went back and shook her hand. The winner of the match, Asuka and Becky, just sitting there freaking out. I like that story.
I don't know who they're going to put Becky with right now. I do like seeing something different here, where even at that opening segment where the women are just going back and forth at one another, Becky not chiming in. I'm like, that's usually not Becky Lynch. But
let me ask you this. Does Becky Lynch, will WWE do this? Should Becky Lynch maybe change the game up a little bit and be the man again and go after, China style, go after some of the men's titles.
I don't think they'll do that. I know you mentioned potentially Rhea Ripley could be somebody
Yeah.
to do that, but I don't see that happening. If anything, I thought you were going to say maybe she'll turn baby again. And
what if she goes to the 24/7 belt and then starts taking on men in those matches?
That could be something there.
Okay.
She's been on this losing streak, so I do like seeing how we're getting this other side of, we don't really see Becky Lynch losing, so now we're seeing her going a little insane. Hey,
yeah,
that's part of this big time Bex, and just her energy, whether it's winning or now it's her losing, she's setting it off. And now that we have Bianca with Carmella at Money in the Bank, I mean, that still leaves something for Becky for SummerSlam, but still, I'm just thinking right now, her and Asuka still have something they can still go upon. We know that Asuka got that spot in Money in the Bank, but how can you not? Again, but I guess we talked about this last time, how we were wondering why Sheamus was facing Drew McIntyre when they should both be in it.
And what ended up happening? They're both in the damn match anyway. So, yeah, Linda, I feel bad for you. Rhea Ripley on the team, long time, and Rhea Ripley possibly on the shelf. So.
I have Bianca at least. I haven't had a good start here with a lot of these. I had such great picks getting first choice in this year's draft and whatnot. But a lot of them actually have been getting injured.
Getting injured or in their video, and I can't watch that video. I tried watching the because the when he got pulled over, one of your teammates, and the video, there's actual live dash cam. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
I couldn't watch it. I turned it off. I didn't want anything to do with it. So yeah, you might have to do a reload on your roster again, Linda Kay.
Yeah. Yep, I do.
Oh, well, that is it for PWR Today for Tuesday the 21st. Tomorrow morning, Wednesday morning, we're going to talk NXT. You get Matthew, you get Linda, and then get ready for probably one of the bigger dynamites in a long time. And in the building, I mean, it'll be the man they call Meathead and Linda Kay. Dynamite live, Milwaukee Panther Arena, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Big show. It's the go home for Forbidden Door.
Absolutely. Stoked for that.
If I find the Forbidden Door in AEW at the Panther Arena, we're going to have to do a video. I don't know if the Forbidden Door is like the back door where the catering comes in. We're going to have to find this Forbidden Door.
Yeah. Forbidden Door starts in Milwaukee this week before going to Chicago.
There you go. All right. Well, for Linda Kay, the man they call Meathead, hey, we'll talk to you tomorrow morning. It'll be Matthew and Linda. So long, everyone.